Here we are at Daly Ranch. I'm Fred Woods from the Friends of Daly Ranch, and we're here to kind of tell you how we're going to make butter. When Robert Daly was born in 1845, he lived in England for about 12 years, and then he got on a ship, went all the way to San Francisco, which took him months to do that, and he lived with his sister for a while. 10 years later, at the age of 22, he came here. He squatted in this place because it was waiting for the opportunity to grab some of this land for himself. So at 22 years old, all by himself, he made Daly Ranch. Later on, his kids were born. He had actually 4, one didn't survive, so he had 2 boys and a girl that survived. And they all had to do chores. And one of the big chores they had to do was churn butter. They raised cattle. They eventually got dairy cattle, but for a while they probably had 1 or 2 cows. Once they started having cows, they were able to get milk. And the kids hand-milked the cows. Out in the middle of nowhere like this, milk doesn't last very long, but some part of it does, and that's the cream, which floats to the top eventually. So what they did was they skimmed off the cream, and you could save that for a while because it doesn't go bad like milk did. And they started making butter for themselves and for their neighbors, and eventually they had so much they started shipping it to San Diego. You can do that with butter, but you can't do it with milk. So they ended up with a dairy, basically a creamery that made butter all the time. So we're going to make some butter today. And to do that, you need some heavy cream, which you can buy at any store. This is 16 ounces. I'm not going to use that much. You need a clean jar. This is about a 20-ounce jar. Take the lid off. You also need a spatula for later on. And you've got something you need to wash the butter off when you're done. So I'm going to start with the cream. And this is heavy cream, which means it's got a butterfat content of about 45%. You can see how thick it is. I'm going to go up to about there. Next, most important step is to make sure your lid is on tight, because if it's not on tight, you're going to get cream all over the place. And you're going to start shaking vigorously. This is a kind of a colloidal suspension, which means that there's little bubbles of butter inside another liquid that's basically part of milk that is going to come out of the butter. So I'm going to start shaking it, and in about 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to have butter. In the meantime, you're going to see some changes on the way. So I'm going to start shaking right now, and the lid is on tight. Here we go. And I want to shake real vigorously because I'm trying to get the little butter bubbles. They have a little membrane around each one. They need to start banging into each other and exploding, literally, and starting to clump together like friends, if you want to put it that way. In the classroom, if you want to do this, 6, 7, 8, 10 people can do this, and you're all not going to get tired too quickly. You can hear the sloshing around going on, and it's getting softer because what's happening, I'm beginning to make some cream. And it's actually starting to make butter soon too. I'll do the butter making dance. What I'm going to do now is pour off some of the liquid. And anybody think they know what this might be? What comes from cream and butter is buttermilk. So that's now buttermilk, but I should be getting a lot more than that. Pour some more off. Don't do that. Okay, now you got pretty much butter. There's still some buttermilk in there because that's not enough. But I'm going to take this and put it in this dish. I'm going to work this somewhat and slowly get the butter to stick together, because there's still a lot of buttermilk in there. The other thing that the Dailies did was they bought a cream separator. Prior to those machines, people had to let the milk sit for someplace until the cream went to the top, and they'd skim it off. Cream separator made that much easier and allowed them to sell way more butter to San Diego. So it was actually another way to make money for them. And as a result, the kids had lots of butter to eat. All right, that is butter. When you buy your cream, make sure it's just pasteurized cream. Don't get ultra pasteurized, because it won't make butter. Ultra pasteurized means it's warmed up higher than normal pasteurization, kills the bacteria, and the bacteria allows fermentation to take place. You're not going to get it with ultra pasteurized. Ultra pasteurized is just a process to make things last longer, and in the process it kills things. So now you know how to make butter here at Daily Ranch. Not exactly cheap, but it is a lot of fun. And you can put it on your biscuits, you can put it on your pancakes, you can put it on your waffles, you can put it on just about anywhere butter is put. And it's kind of a fun activity. Well, that's it. We made butter. You can make butter yourself at home. Bon appetit.